hi to my captive audience on my phone. It's so funny because it is like I don't have anybody to talk to, so I can just sit and talk to my phone, and it has to listen. But if you don't want to listen to me, you can turn it off. If you just think I'm a weirdo, just turn it off. So what I was thinking about, well, for one thing, I'm going to leave in a little while and go drop my car off to get serviced for my trip, and then I'm going to walk home. So I have clothes ready to go out and exercise. It's like it's a good excuse to get out and walk. But I was watching this movie this morning that I've never, shocker, that I've never heard of. There was one person, yeah, I think there was only one person who I knew who they were in this movie. I want to say Michael Anthony Hall, Michael C. Anthony Hall or something. He was in Weird Science and 16 Candles. He was probably in some more movies, but it's just so funny because he was like this little tiny nerd, and now I don't know, this movie seemed pretty recent, but he's just like giant. He looks like a football player. And it's funny too, when you turn on a movie and you don't know anything about it, you can tell instantly if it's going to be a school shooting movie. It's like you can pick up on it so quick. And so this movie, you know, I started watching it, and it was showing about these teens, and it was showing about them having all these troubles, and you know, right away you're like, okay, this is headed for disaster. Like, this is definitely, this kid is gonna do a school shooting. And so there was a couple things that I was thinking about while I was watching it. You know, one thing is sometimes how obvious this stuff is. You know, is that good or bad? I don't know. There is no good or bad, so it can't be anything. It just is. And but these different characters in the movie and they're all their different realities and how much it affected them, especially when they're, you know, high school. And you know, it keeps being so apparent or like highlighted to me about different realities, that it is, if somebody is living an experience, that's their reality. They don't have any understanding of other realities. And so, and then all of their reactions and actions are all based on their perception of the reality that they were in and how it affected them, because it can affect them for, you know, the rest of their life. Like, so one of the things was, one of the moms, the dad had killed himself, and the mom had become a drug addict and a alcoholic and couldn't take care of the kid. The kid ended up having to take care of her. It was their only child. He had to take care of her whole time. He was 17, and she was, you know, just drunk and on drugs and couldn't get out of bed all day. And he was super frustrated. There was never anyone there for him. And, you know, just what his experience, like, it did good in showing, like, I got the feeling of like, oh my gosh, this poor kid. Like, my dad was an alcoholic, and I felt all that pressure, you know, like trying to save him somehow. But there was still, like, when my dad and my mom were together, there was still like a little bit of sanity because my mom wasn't drunk. But when my dad got divorced from her, then he married an alcoholic, and then it was just like fucking chaos. Man, that was crazy. And then I could really see, like, man, it makes a difference to have someone in the house to at least, you know, keep a little bit of balance by calling them out, even if it's fighting all the time. Hold on. to do something here, lady. You know, if this little table's up, you know what I'm doing. I don't know why you have to. Okay, please move. God, today's a weird day. Fuck. So, anyways, the kids, I was just like, oh my gosh, that would just be so much worse to just be alone with the alcoholic like that. Because alcoholics are drug addicts. Like, there's a certain group of people that some of us have had as parents, and they do, like, they can't save themselves. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of, there's something scary about it. So, and it puts a lot of pressure on you as a kid to be always feeling like you have to save your parent. And so, you know, I thought, you know, it really was representing that reality for that kid. Oh, now she's bringing me a toy. Oh, she's in the mood today. Yeah, she's had me up since 4 a.m. So my eyes are probably, I feel like they're barely even open. Would you please scoot back? I'm trying to talk. Don't knock over my thing. God, she cracks me up. She is so funny. Even when she drives me crazy, I just think it, like, I'd rather have that experience than none with her, because she just cracks me up. So anyways, that guy's reality. And then, you know, the other troubled kid, he was like a well-off kid, only both his parents worked in careers that they were never home, so he never had a parent home his whole life. And he felt rejected, isolated. He had an older sister, around the same age sister, but, you know, she clearly didn't mind not having parents around because she could do whatever she wanted. And there was something that was missing for him. He was very, very, I mean, every interaction he had with anybody, he was just such a downer, the way he looked at everything. And, you know, you, as an adult, you could see that and see like, oh, fuck, this kid's troubled. But other kids, they don't recognize it, you know, especially if somebody's being manipulative. So, you know, I think he had already killed another kid in a shooting accident. And he wanted to shoot up the school. He just wanted to kill. He just was unhappy. He just was such a downer about just life and everything. I just felt bad for, and I was like, man, the guy who wrote this, because it wasn't a big budget movie, the guy who wrote this, is this like how he felt? Was this like someone he knew? Like, where did he get this character? And you know, because a lot of times when you're watching like ones that are bigger budget, then you know that it's all to indoctrinate and it's all propaganda, it's all bullshit. But when it's like this, then, you know, is this like this guy's art that he's trying to express? Is it his being disillusioned by life and just feeling down? Did he, was he friends with a school shooter or someone like that? Did he used to think about that? Like I don't know, but, and then seeing what the woman was going through, the alcoholic, you know, as soon as she was sober, I don't know what demons were coming into her, but, you know, she had too much to deal with. She couldn't handle it 17 years later. Like, my gosh, yeah, tragic situations happen, but if you don't start like aggressively trying to heal from them, like, you're just dragging the pain out for so long. 17 years, you know, when probably a year of going to AA and facing her demons, that she, you know, would be able to move on with her life. But people get so stuck, and it's like accepted, and I mean, it's like preferred. in our present society, you know, it's, here, you get depressed, take a couple pills. And, you know, how many of these people who are on these pills are taking alcohol with it? I know so many. And, you know, when you try and tell them you can't drink with that, that is messing with, like, this stuff, if it's crossing the blood-brain barrier, some of the meds to mess with your neurological, the chemicals in your head, because they're messing with those, you know, trying to raise serotonin, you know, all this inhibitors and ones to make them produce more and block other ones and shit. And then people are drinking. I mean, it's no wonder that over there is unstable as fuck. I don't even remember if I told you that when she, you know, I mean, after she got mad and told me I was a liar because I told her gate was open and I just shut my gate to make sure my dog couldn't get out, that she went through her tirade, then she went out, you know, and sealed the fence up. You know, she's going to show me. Like, it's okay with me. I need to protect my dog. And just I don't know, it's just so much instability. I think I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. And I don't know. It's just so nutty right now. Like right now, I feel like it feels weird. Like the energy feels so weird. This morning, I felt like a tornado. It just felt like rapid chaos. Just like, it was like, oh man, I can't think of the word. But right now, it's like we're in the middle, like the eye of the storm, where it's just like, it's really still right now. Everything feels still, like this, like everything is stopped around me, and I'm the only thing moving, except for her licking herself. But you know what I'm saying? That's how it feels. It feels weird, and but I think it's just gonna go right back. But man, it feels weird. And so just watching that movie, it just made me think more about what I had been talking about with the different experiences and different realities, and how significant that is and how underappreciated it is. Like we don't really get it. Like it's so far beyond just like, oh, you know, I grew up in the South and now I live in the Pacific Northwest and I see things different than the people who grew up here. It's so beyond that, because our own home experiences are so significant. And then once you know, start really thinking about that and reincarnation and, you know, how important all these different experiences are and how significant they are in our growth as our own energy and as the larger unit of what and who we are, you know, if you understand what I mean. Because, you know, we are individuals, but we are also a part of something bigger. And you know, and one of the things about reincarnation, you know, because there was something the other day, there was some kind of a tragic thing. And it always seems like, you know, kind of heartless when something tragic happens to somebody to not, I don't know, to not just victimize them and to, you know, be like, oh, poor you, oh gosh, life's too hard, blah, blah, blah. You know, if we looked at it different from, you know, what lessons and stuff we were meant to learn through the experience. Like, say for instance, that lady, the alcoholic lady, you know, maybe her whole purpose was to be born at this time to be his mom, because he wanted to, maybe he was an alcoholic before, and he wanted to experience what it was like, what he had done to someone else. Because when he, after that life had finished, And then he went in and he did his life review. And, you know, he's like, oh man, I'm stuck. I don't know, you know, how would I treat someone that way? You know, do I need to go in and experience? What does that feel like? Because, you know, I shouldn't have done that to someone else. And so then he could be born into that situation. Or it can be that it is for he just wants to come in and just experience having these parents that can't be saved, and this. But there's so many reasons why, when you start looking at it, why people choose the lives that they choose, and the experiences, and then how, you know, we all kind of take turns playing the parts. I mean, it makes so much sense. I don't understand how people can question it, but you know, not all of us can understand things on the same grounds, or we don't all resonate with the same ideas or understandings. And just more and more, I keep seeing about them, about words, like that you can say something to somebody and it can mean something totally different than what you mean it to say. And I think that's part of the manipulation of our language as well, with getting all these people addicted to not talking, to texting and stuff. I really like the audio things now, because I will usually leave an audio over text, and it still is, when you text or message somebody with words, how many times that it is not understood of how you meant it. The way that we say things has everything to do with our intent, you know, how we say it, which parts we accentuate, and which parts that we well, you know what I mean. So the I just think that it's part of this whole manipulation, because it comes alongside with I mean, social media has been so destructive to our society. The only good thing that has balanced it out has been that it's been able to bring groups of people together that wouldn't have met before. But it's been so abused by people with insecurities and manipulation by the system. And I won't miss it. I'm barely on it. People are always like on Twitter, like, oh, let's grow your account, let's do it, you know. Like, as soon as this is done, I'm off of here. I don't give a shit about this crap. I just want to get it, I want to get into the next part. And, you know, that, I mean, we have to wake people up. And we have to get people to realize, like, there is a reality going on that you are not seeing at all. Like, we all have our own individual realities, and that gives us our perspectives and our perceptions of life. But this is beyond that. This is like the manipulation of, it's the Matrix. It's just a made up world, and they've trapped us in it. That's what, you know, trying to wake people up, and they just can't even wrap their heads around it at all. They can't see that one and one don't make, I don't know, they've got things so whacked out that nothing makes sense. It's just wacky world. It's not, I mean, everybody says clown world, but it's just so far beyond clown, because it's just bullshit. I mean, when you know what's going on and you have awareness, and then you're watching this, it's just like, oh my God, this is so aggravating. These people are just horrible. It's all being exposed, but oh my gosh, there is some. I don't think they're human. Well, the ones that are bad, that are human, they are, you know, they're compromised. They've done something super bad, and you know, they all are going to deserve what they get. But when they get mode, I'm looking forward to that part, man. I just try and stay off of all the stuff. Sometimes even when I go on Twitter, it just gives me a headache just seeing, like, you just so you can feel the emotion coming out of it. And I think that's also part of the, waking up and with our having gifts as human beings and stuff. It is your awareness, it's your empathy. It's all has to do with just becoming more aware of your reality and your environment and how much stuff is on you to create what you want. So many people think everything's outside of them, it's out of their control. And, they have to, I just think about like the dogs a lot, I know I talk about it a lot, but just, seeing Stella's reality, like, that she thinks that can control the weather. She thinks that, her reality is so, like, I'm so powerful in what is real to her. And yesterday I was even thinking, it's weird because to me, she's my little girl. She's like my little daughter. She's, my kids grew up, and I don't know, you still need somebody to take care of. And so she's like my little girl. If she was a little smaller, I'd probably dress her in little dresses. But, in her reality, what am I? What am I to her? She loves me to death. So am I, to her, am I like partners with her? Am I like what we would consider a spouse? Like when she comes in, if I'll have my feet up or something, and she'll come and she'll just start licking them and cleaning them. And it reminds me of those stories of when Jesus would come in and they would go to his feet and lick his feet, and not lick his feet, clean his feet. That would get weird. But clean his feet. And that is, it is this way of like showing submission or something. That's how I see it. And so for her to do that, then it's like, I just love you so much. But, what does that mean to her? That's the thing. And that is, with all these people right now, they, it's like they are in this such a limited reality, and then they're about to come out and see, like it'd be Stella all of a sudden to realize, like, the whole world. There's just so much. And, for her to all of a sudden have that kind of consciousness of, if I walk out the door, I will come back, to even understand, like, to be able to say, because I keep telling her, we're going to go on a trip this week. And I try and tell her, tomorrow, or I'm going to take the car, tomorrow I'll get it. And the next day we'll cook some food, and then we will be going. And, she'll get all excited. But, I think she can understand that I'm saying, we're going to do something. But she doesn't really get the whole thing about time, right? And to me, there's just that's the same thing as what's going on with these people. Like, that's why you can't really talk to them or reason with them or have them see things. They're so stuck on their perspective of things. They can't see anything else. They're so triggered. And they're so limited in being able to understand what's going on, and everything sounds like far-fetched to them. It's weird, but this is all the same thing with the manipulation, like all the same way they plan social media. It's all manipulation of people's brains. And it's just really disgusting to watch. And I don't know, it's sad. And well, I'll be glad when this part is over. And I feel like it's another day where I just sound like, oh, this is just a downer. I had some other stuff. Some of the things like it will be in my head, like I can understand it in my head, but then to try and say it is so much harder to explain. The other day something came to me as like a telepathic message, and it seems like it was like a picture or something, but it was like whatever it was, a symbol or whatever it was, like I knew everything, like I didn't need to be told anything, like I completely understood it. And then with words, it's like we're constantly trying to explain, and you know, different words mean different things to different people. Like today, I think it was yesterday actually, because I was watching his education, and I took a picture of one of his memes that he had up there, and it was these bikers, and it says the 70s, and then in the 2021, it has these two guys walking, and they look like, I don't know, Jehovah's Witness kind of, you know, like they didn't have dresses on, but they were very, you know, for young guys with masks, and I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah, they just are totally trying to take men from being like macho, kind of manly or whatever. They're trying to take that away from men, and you know, push the dresses, and you know, push toxic masculinity and all this stuff that I don't think there's very many women who would agree, especially women over 30. But I mean, the younger ones are a lot more indoctrinated and a lot more taught this other way is better, but they haven't lived the other way, so they don't know. What they're being taught is bullshit. But so anyways, so this picture, I decided I was gonna put it on Twitter because I liked it. And I don't know, lately I've been feeling super nostalgic about the 70s. I don't know, I feel like my house even looks like the 70s, but like the music and stuff, like if I put on music, I don't know, it just feels like, oh, I really like that. Oh, it reminds me of good times and stuff. And then plus watching these older movies. I like older movies so much more. And there was a kind of a period in the 70s though where, I don't know, I think they were experimenting. They kind of have a weird style. But anyway, so I was putting this on Twitter, this picture, and I didn't think anything about it. But then one of my friends on Twitter, I don't know if he got offended. See, that's the thing. You can't tell with words. But what he said back, you know, he seemed upset. And he was saying about the 70s, and, you know, he was forced to join the army or something. What was that called that they did? Because they would make the boys go into war, and it was Vietnam, and he was just going off on that, and you know, he was only 18, like right out of high school. Like I was in school in the 70s, and you know, I mean, my biggest issues were, you know, we would sneak out at night, hitchhike. We'd go sit over at, I remember going and sitting at Brady Dillard's, and they would, all these guys would be sitting in there, passing around this bong, listening to Led Zeppelin, playing air guitar. Like that was, you know, my life back in the 70s. And so, yeah, he was having a totally different experience, you know. His reality was completely different than mine. And that's what I keep talking about too. It just keeps coming to me over and over and over, like, how different. But so he got really upset, and then I didn't think about like, oh, so yeah, these picture of Easy Rider guys I didn't think about them representing the anti-Vietnam, I don't know, like a hippie movement kind of, where they were anti-soldiers. And I remember when this was going on, because it was the guys that were going in draft. That's what the other thing is, being drafted. But the guys who were signing up, because both my grandpas were vets. They were both in World War II. And so all these young guys that were in junior high and high school, they had these kind of dads that, had fought in a war and stuff. So when this one came, it was kind of like, well, you, they, a lot of them wanted to do right by their family, like their dads and their grandfathers had fought in wars, and that, like, they were really good people, and they went and signed up, and then the anti-war, being anti-government movement started, and then it just somehow turned on the soldiers, and it was I was wrong. I was really wrong that they did that. It was a horrible thing to do to those people. I just, I was young, so I just more chalked it up as just another horrible thing about war. It's bullshit. It's not what we would do. It's not what we want. This is the government. This is how they make money. This is what they do. This is how they keep the population lower. That's the matrix for you. So, but that's the thing, is that different people are just there. And that's why when we stereotype, when we assume things, just like, to me, how I always thought that Dixie flag, I don't even know what else you call it, but that flag, the old Confederate, I think it's Confederate flag, the old flag, the cross, and it's like the Dukes of Hazzard thing. And I always thought like it was like Southern racist, kind of like, it was like showing that, like, this is what I think, it's white power or something. That's what I had always thought. And, I don't even know where I got that. It had to be out of movies. And so then when I met people who, didn't think that about the flag, and thought totally different, and then it's being taken away from them and being used and exploited. And it was just, this was a while back. It was like, it was during the quarantine, but I don't remember. But it was, somebody wrote it on Twitter. Somebody said something, and then it was just, I was reading the comments, and I was reading what people had said. And I was just like, it was like a wake-up call, like, man, I'm thinking everybody has the same idea of this when they look at it. If they're flying it, they are flying it because they are going against what I believe it is. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, it doesn't even mean the same thing to us all. And, we fight about shit that is also manufactured. We assume that we think that we know somebody that we don't know. And, we just all, as human beings, it's not just the government, it's not just we as beings, we need to be better. We need to work on ourselves. We are going to be what makes this world a better place. It's us. It's us being how we treat each other. It's us, how we, our expectations of each other. Like, him, he still is carried on. He hasn't, gotten in a fight with me or something, or said, hey, you better take that down, I'm offended. Especially like right now. We're all fighting back against that. Like, you shouldn't have, if your feelings get hurt, just turn the page, look the other way. We don't all have to, my feelings are hurt, well, my feelings are hurt, well, my feelings are hurt. Everybody's got a fucking feeling that got hurt. So let's just all change and do, I guess we can all just sit in our house and twiddle our thumbs for our life and call it good. And we have to also thicken up our skin. We can't just expect everybody to never hurt our feelings. And we can't overreact when our feelings get hurt. Feelings get hurt. That's what they're there for. They're there to let you know, there's an emotion. I think that we probably need to start reading our feelings a little bit better. Just like when over there was talking, I had said for weeks, I mean, I could read between the lines that she just kept calling me a liar. And there was no reason for it except for that she's anti the person that I supported in the political realm. And, I mean, that person that I supported was anti-politics as well. He's trying to bring things to the surface so that we all can see them. And, but you have to have an awareness to see what's going on, to see what he's doing. And, no. But, so, my thing just, I gotta plug in my phone real quick, hold on. What was I saying? It was, I don't know. I remember it was something about healing and, there was no reason to be saying this stuff to me, that it was being stereotyped because of that over who I supported. So, that means that I'm a supremacist person of a color, and that I don't care about people or other people's needs, and all that stuff that they think goes with that. They don't, when somebody can't even stop that narrative in their head when they know you, that's the thing that just blows my mind. And then it just makes me feel like, I mean, it shows you when people have no respect for you, because that's what triggered me. Was I heard someone saying something and I respected the person, so I looked into it. And even though it was against something that I thought it sounded nutty, but I respected the person, so I looked into it. So, for these other people, especially when there's so many around right now, then it's just like, oh my gosh, these people, I mean, my own kids have no respect for me as a human being. So I'm just, this is about healing and trying to do better, not being affected by other people's thoughts of you, and, taking care of yourself, and, learning how to live better, and learning how to not be affected by other people's thoughts of you and other people's beliefs of you, and to, find a way to become centered. And, mind, body, spirit is so important. Find the best way you can to take care of yourself and love yourself. The more that you can realize that you aren't your body. I'm really sitting really crooked, huh? The more you think that you realize you're not your body, then the more I think that you can learn to take care of it and love it and appreciate it. If you can be like, I'm not my body. I'm just using this. And every time I watch a movie and somebody dies in the movie, what was I watching yesterday? I watched a show that was just like, I don't know, it was like a Fargo kind of movie. Everybody got killed. But this was something, I don't know, they're always showing people getting killed in movies, but it just makes me feel bad for the bodies. like them laying there twitching, you know, it's like letting go of the spirit's leaving, and, you know, they're just like spasming, twitching, and I don't know, it just makes me feel bad, especially in movies when they just show them all getting like splattered and ripped apart. It's so disrespectful, you know. I think that we really need to learn more about respecting our bodies, others' bodies, other sacred souls, you know, stop walking on other people to see the beauty in everyone. You know, there's just people who are just so turned off. They just have got nothing inside. They've got fire in them, but it's all just anger. They don't have the light inside of them. This is going to be transformative over these next few weeks and months. We'll just see what directions people are going to go. Because I know that, I mean, the earth is ascending, but this isn't just about humans. This is a huge amount of other life that's going on besides us. You know, we have to, if we want a place, we have to wake up and take our place. We have to be conscious. We have to be a certain level, and you know, of how we treat other people. And you know, if people can't meet that standard, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to go. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how the whole thing is working, but there's definitely going to be some kind of a shift, some kind of a splitting of the ways. And I don't know. I guess we'll just watch and see how it plays out. You know, nobody knows exactly how it's going to play out. And that's the thing. Even if you go and listen to this psychic and this psychic, you know, timelines are constantly changing. They're so fluid. You can't get caught up on the little timelines. You can just know, like, what the future is going to be golden. It's going to be great. It's going to be a completely different experience as human beings. It's going to be a lot more of your own sovereignty, claiming your sovereignty, taking care of yourself. You know, it's just going to be on such a different level than what we've experienced so far. And that is, I mean, that's what's up ahead. How we're going to get there, all the little details, I don't know. I think that they're changing all the time. And, you know, we just have to trust of where it is that we are going. And how we get there, you know, is how we're going to get there. Just, you know, that's part of the experience, whatever we're going through. And right now it's a lot. It's a lot for me. And anyways, I feel like doing like the AA thing at the end. Oh, thanks for listening. But truly, thanks for listening. And, you know, yeah, I hope things are going well for you. And just remember that there are people out there that really do care. And we are all going to go through this together and make each other better. Have a great day.